Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Today we're taking a look at a brand new game from Plan B Games. It's a hand and resource management game called Century Spice Road for 2 to 5 players. So let's get to the table and start trading some spices. Hey guys, welcome to Board Together Games. My name is David and this is my sister,
Kathy. Hello.
Today we are going to be taking a look at a game called Century Spice Road, and this is kind of what our channel does. We are dedicated to bringing board game content, quality board game content and reviews to people who are new to the board gaming hobby, and particularly families. And I think today we've got a winner here.
Absolutely.
Particularly in the families category. And like I said, this is Century Spice Road. It is a game for 2 to 5 players, and it is for ages 8 and up, I think it says. And it plays about 30 to 45 minutes, although I got to tell you, this game goes quick.
Yes, it does.
Century Spice Road is designed by Emerson Matsuchi. I believe that is how you pronounce that name. What would you call this? This is kind of a deck building, resource gathering.
It's hand management.
Resource management, point game.
Yes.
We are showing you this game today on the optional playmat, which was an option that Kathy picked up and purchased at the Origins Game Fair a couple of weeks ago. The standard game basically just comes with the cards, these great metal coins, these resource bowls, or I don't know what you would call them, and all the cubes you see, and just tons and tons of cards. It is a lovely game, beautiful artwork, not much on theme.
No. But that's okay.
Yeah, that is okay. As long as there is something there in regards to theme. And I preach theme all the time. I am kind of a theme guy. Even if it's pasted on, as long as it's nice to look at and it kind of gives me some sort of, it adds to the gameplay in some way, shape, or form, I'm good with it. So, and I think this does that. This game succeeds in giving you at least something to sink your teeth into as far as a feel. In Century Spice Road, you are going to be gathering resources. And the resources are represented by these 4 containers of cubes. And the cubes represent, the yellow is turmeric, the red is saffron, the green is cardamom, and brown is cinnamon. And henceforth, they will be known as yellow, red, green, and brown. To set up for Century Spice Road, you will take the orange back cards, shuffle the deck, and lay out 5 of them with the remainder of the deck off to the right. And then you're going to take these metal coins, and you're going to take a number of these coins equal to the number of players times 2. So if you have a 3-player game, you're going to take 6 gold coins and put them up here above this leftmost card, and 6 of the silver coins and put them above the second leftmost card.
Right.
These cards are your point scoring cards. That's how you will score points at the end of the game. The other deck is the purple back deck of cards, not to be confused with the nickelback deck of cards. The purple back cards, you shuffle those up as well, and you're going to deal 6 of those face up underneath the orange back cards. These cards are known as the trading cards, I believe, or trader cards.
Trader cards,
I think that's what they are. So that is how you set this up, and then you, of course, put the resources over to the left-hand side, and every player is going to be given 2 starter cards, and they come in 2 flavors. Everybody's cards are exactly the same, and so everybody gets 1 of each of those, and every player is going to get 1 of these caravan boards, caravan cards. You're going to take a number of these equal to the number of players, and you must include, one of them has an actual icon on it that is the first player icon. Shuffle those up, randomly distribute them to the players. That is also how you're going to determine first player, and play is going to go clockwise around the table. And at the beginning of the game, the start player is going to receive 3 of the yellow cubes. The second and third players are going to receive 4 yellow cubes. The 4th and 5th players, if there are a 4th and 5th player, are going to receive 3 yellow cubes and 1 red cube. And that is how you set up everything for the game, I believe, and then you can begin. So gameplay in Century Spice Road is really quite simple. Explaining the turns and what you can do on your turn takes a little bit. There are 4 different things that you can do on your turn. The first thing that you can do on your turn is simply play a card. You're going to be holding in your hand these cards. And to begin the game, it's just your 2 starter cards. And to play a card, you simply play it on the table and do whatever the action in the upper left-hand corner is. There are 3 types of cards that you can play on your turn for the play card action. The first is a spice card. And what a spice card does is it simply gives you more cubes or more spices from the general supply. The starter card allows you to play it and simply get 2 yellow cubes, 2 turmeric cubes for your caravan. The second type is an upgrade card. An upgrade card allows you to take spices that you currently have. So for example, if I had my starter, 3 yellow cubes, I could take one of these cubes and upgrade it twice because this card allows me to do 2 upgrades using this card. I could take this yellow cube and convert it from yellow to red and then red to green. That's 2 upgrades. So this yellow turns into a green. Or I could take both of these yellow cubes and upgrade each one twice. So I could turn in the 2 yellows and get 2 reds because they're the next level up. So yes, these cubes are kind of an increasing value, I guess you could say. And that is denoted on these point cards. You'll notice that the more of the more expensive, for lack of a better term, cubes there are on these cards, the more points that they are worth.
Right.
The third type of card is the one that there's the most of in the game, and that is trade cards. And what a trade card does is allows you to take cubes that you have on your caravan, turn them in to get a different kind and quantity of cubes or spices. So the one that I'm looking at right here would allow me to take 2 existing green cubes that I have in my caravan, 2 cardamom, and exchange it for 1 cinnamon, 2 turmeric, and 1 saffron. And that's it. Those are the 3 types of cards: spice, upgrade, and trade. That is the play card action. The second thing that you can do on your turn is acquire a card. Exactly. So this row of cards down here are cards that you can, for all intents and purposes, purchase on your turn. And again, you're only doing one of these actions on your turn. To acquire a card, the one that's the leftmost in the tableau is always free. You can quite simply just pick it up and put it directly in your hand. It now becomes a card that you can use on a subsequent turn on the play card action. However, any card that is to the right of that card, you must pay for. So let's say that I had 3 yellow cubes in my caravan, and that's where all of your cubes start, is on your caravan. You have a limited number of cubes that you can carry in your caravan, and that number is 10. You can have more than 10 on your turn, but at the end of your turn, you must always discard down to 10. Right?
Yes.
So let's say I had these 3 yellow cubes here, and I wanted to take this card right here, which is the third from the left. I would have to pay for any of the cards. To pay for that card, I would have to put cubes on the cards that are to the left of it. So I'd have to put a cube here, and then I could take this card and put it into my hand. Those cubes stay there. Anytime you take a card, the ones that are to the right slide to the left, and you refill off the top of the deck. And that's how acquiring a card works. So again, these cubes stay here. Someone on their next turn, if they wanted this free card, not only would they take the card, they would take any cubes that are on that card, which is kind of great for that person.
It is nice.
Kind of a bummer for the guy who put them there. The third thing that you can do on your turn is rest. That's what it's called in the rules, is rest. And what that means is, as you're playing these cards to the table, they're going to stay there through your subsequent turns. And you're going to come to a point where you have no more cards left to play. At that point, you can, on your turn, rest. And what that means is you just take all the cards that are sitting in front of you, put them back in your hand, and your turn is done. Now these cards are available to you to use on subsequent turns.
The only thing I would add to that is that you don't have to play every card in your hand before you rest.
It's a very good
point. You
point.
can play 1, 2, 3, however many you want to play, and then if you realize that the card that you have played you actually need back in your hand to do something, at that point you can choose to rest and bring all the cards back in your hand.
Right. The last action that you can do on your turn is claim a card, claim a score card, right? This top row of cards are the ones that have points on them, and how you achieve that is you must have in your caravan the number and color of cubes shown at the bottom of these cards. So for example, this card right here has 1 of each. It has a brown, a green, a red, and a yellow. If I have that in my caravan at the beginning of my turn, I pay those cubes back to the general supply. I take this card and I put it face down in front of me, and I have scored the points from that card, which in this case is 12. And that's it. Other than there are these stacks of metal coins here. If you ever take the card that is underneath the stack of gold coins or the stack of silver coins, then you not only take the card, but you also take one of the coins. And again, these are a limited supply. There are 2 times the number of players for each stack. If the gold stack ever runs out, the silver stack slides over. And just like the trade cards underneath here, anytime a card is taken from the scoring row, you just slide the rest over to the left and draw a new one from the top of the deck. And that's how you score. Play simply continues around the table until any given player is able to claim their 5th point card on their turn. And if they're able to do that, they finish their turn, and then you finish out the rest of the round back to the first player, and the game is over. You basically count up all the points that you've acquired off of these point cards. Mm-hmm. The gold tokens, if you've gotten any of these, are worth 3 points apiece. The silver are worth 1 point apiece, and you also gain an extra point for any cube or spice that you have on your caravan that is not yellow. So the turmeric aren't worth anything, but the saffron, cardamom, and cinnamon are all worth 1 point each. Whoever has the most points is the winner. And if I'm not mistaken, in a 2 or 3 player game, you have to get 6 of these cards, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And that's it. That is how you play Century Spice Road. Tiebreaker is whoever is latest in turn order. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Kathy, what did you think of Century Spice Road?
I love this game.
Yeah.
It is a wonderfully simple, fun, quick game with beautiful artwork. And who doesn't love cubes? I love cubes. And I just think the whole idea of the way this game goes is really top notch. Yeah. I just really like this game.
You stole everything I was going to say.
Cool.
Because it's true, right? I mean,
absolutely.
This game just zips along. I've played this game 5 times now, and the first game was maybe close to that 45-minute mark. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, I haven't played with 5.
Yeah.
Have not played with 5 players, so disclaimer there. I have played with 4 and 3, and Kathy, you played 2 players.
Yes.
How did you like it at 2 players? As good as higher player counts?
I think it scales really well. There's really no change in the way that it's played. The only thing that I guess there's less people that could potentially put cubes out to give you more opportunity to take a free card that actually has cubes on it or something like that.
Less chance of somebody taking a card you wanted either from the trade cards or the scoring cards.
This is true, exactly. Yeah.
So there's some but yeah, I mean, even at the higher player counts, 45 minutes is going to be the absolute tops, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you're learning the game. It really just flies along. Turns go super quick. That kind of leads me into something that I have a problem with this game. Not a problem is that it detracts from the game. It's a flaw of mine. And when I'm playing this game, I have a real problem looking at this board and looking at my hand and saying, okay, on next turn I can do this, which means on the next turn I can do that, and then the next turn I can do that. And I'm so focused on 4 or 5 turns ahead for me that I'm not watching what is happening with the other players. And I think that's kind of important in this game.
It's very important.
Is to see what's going on with the other players. Because,
especially as how fast it moves.
Yes.
Someone could be getting cards and getting close to ending the game, and you just
don't
have no idea.
Don't even realize it.
Correct.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. But that's also kind of a cool thing, too.
It is.
One of the neat things about this game is that it draws you in like that, and you're like laser focused on what you're working on, and not even paying attention to what everybody else is doing.
Right.
But so I need to try to get better at that. I need to be better at seeing what other players are doing. But basically,
you just have to play it more. That's all.
No issues there. But it is. It's a beautiful production. Everything about this, the fact that they included metal coins instead of just chits or something like that. The cubes are larger than the standard size cubes. They are good quality. The cups. I mean, yes, the playmat was an extra add-on, but honestly, having played with or without it, it certainly isn't needed. But it does add something to that gameplay experience. It really does. And the cards really do slide nicely because there's a lot of sliding cards down in this game, and it really does help for that.
Yes,
so
it sure
I think
does.
that's a big plus. But it is not needed. I am lucky enough to have a gaming table, so that does help a lot as well. But if you were playing just on a regular kitchen table or something like that, it's going to be a little bit tougher to maneuver all the things that are going on here. I do have to go back to theme, though, and there really isn't one. But it doesn't really bother me that much in this game.
Well, that's good.
Does it bother you?
I'm not really a big... I don't really have to have the theme as much as you do. It's not something that's required for me.
Right.
It's nice to have the beautiful artwork and to kind of have a feel for kind of what the game is supposed to represent.
Sure.
But even if it doesn't have a theme, I'm a mechanics person. I enjoy a mechanic. If a mechanic is something that's hitting on cylinders for me, then I'm okay with the theme being not there or minimal.
I am a theme guy. I really enjoy theme, but again, even if it's something simple like this that really is just pasted on, again, at least it's something.
Yeah.
And yes, as long as it draws me into the gameplay, which I think this achieves that.
Yes, it does.
Then I'm fine with it. So yeah, and as far as who can play this game, anybody can play this game. Would you agree?
Yes. I mean, as long as you know your colors and you can count.
Okay, maybe I can't play this game.
Not
because of the counting, because of the colors.
He's colorblind, so, you know. But as long as you can see what colors the cubes are, and you can, I mean, there's no words that you have to read. So as long as you know, red turns into yellow or brown or green or brown, then that's really all you need to know.
I play a lot more family style games than Kathy does. Mm-hmm. Just because, my kids are still at home, right? They're younger yet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just drew everybody in. Everybody in the family really enjoyed this game. So I can't say enough about how well it works as a design. I'm going to give Century Spice Road a 9 out of 10 because of a lot of reasons that I've already explained, and mainly it's just because this is just a game that works for such a wide variety of people. Any family with even younger kids could buy this game and get a lot of use out of it, I think. Mm-hmm. People who are new to gaming, if they are only really familiar with Monopoly and Scrabble and things like that, it's a great option to bring over and say, hey, check this out. This is what I do. This is what my passion is. This is, what I do in my free time. And you may be able to bring somebody into the hobby this way.
I completely agree with you. I am also going to be giving this a 9.
Great.
And the reason why is because even though I tend to be more of a strategy gamer and playing a little bit more on the heavy side of things with the games that I typically play, it's really nice to have a change of pace and to be able to pull out a game that is easy to get to the table, really quick to play, and it just kind of hits that
sweet spot.
Yeah, that hits that sweet spot for me.
It's not complex.
No.
But it gives you a lot to think about.
Yes.
And that's big. To me, that is always a great combination. A game that is going to engage people who are used to having more in their games, and yet is simple enough that somebody who doesn't always play games can sit down and compete.
Right.
That's what this game does.
And for family friendliness, this game is a 10 out of 10.
Yes, absolutely.
It is absolutely perfect for families, and there's nothing in this game that would be offensive or a problem at all.
Right.
For all the reasons that we said before, definitely a 10 out of 10.
Yep. And that wraps it up, everybody, for Century Spice Road. Another stellar game. This is from Plan B Games, Emerson Matsuuchi, great design. We're really enjoying this. We've been playing it quite a bit since we both bought it at Origins Game Fair a couple of weeks ago. I am going to leave a link in the description of this video for a place that you can go pick this game up. So yeah, definitely want to check that out. Also, I'm going to leave a link in the description for Gamer Thredz. We talk about those guys a lot. They make t-shirts that are board game related, and they are very clever, very cool, very reasonably priced. So do us a favor, click on that link and check those guys out. That helps us out here at Board Together Games as well. If you like what we're doing here at Board Together Games, please take a minute to like this video and comment and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. We are making a big push right now to grow this channel. If we don't do that, we may not be around for a real long time. These videos take a lot of time, and we really want to keep going with this. So if you like what we're doing, we really want to see that feedback come in, because that really helps us out. And again, you guys, if you are bored together, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
So, Spencery, Schmeish mode.
You got your baby spice. You got your scary spice.
Okay, come on. Oh, stop.
French fries.
No, it's Cheetos. It's finger licking.
It's parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
We're out of time.